Hello, this is London Silver, and sorry I sort of waited in the last minute. This is early in the morning, so yeah, because I wanted to get it out the way. And also, just to specify, Izuku is not Technoblade and Dream. He was trained by them. They are his mentors and parental figures, not them. So, and also, this isn't the canon cells. But I did see one comment was like, Techno, destroy orphan, and then Dream, adopt. What? And shit, he ain't that bad. And I thought that was actually really funny. And my computer is actually very low. But we'll see how much time we can squeeze in before I actually have to charge it. So, let's get into it. Last time, Izuku charged at Stain, and then that's where it ended. So, let's get back on it. I create an axe, and it collides with Stain's swords, and we both jump back quickly. I then take out my phone and send my location to Todoroki, but not just Todoroki. I send it to Dream and Techno. Techno. Yeah. We're gonna shorten it to just Dre and Techno. Because it just sounds weird to me now. So yeah. He still sees them as parental figures. But I'm just not gonna call them mom or dad. Kind of feels weird for me. For backup, when I do get tired out, I won't just be taken down. I tried to lift my arm, but I couldn't, and I noticed he got my arm, which only made my arm unusable, but not the rest of my body. I then used my other arm to push him to the ground, and then Stain then cuts my leg, which makes me fall to my knees. Stain then goes for Ida on the floor, and Ace comes out of fucking nowhere and bites Stain on the fucking arm. Yes, Ace is back. Ace gives him a nasty bite and hangs on, ripping the flesh on his unprotected arm, which is bleeding. Stain tries to attack, but Ace lets go and runs to my side, trying to help. I then yell, "Ida, can you walk?" He shook his head, not able to move his body a lot. I notice my arm is now usable and take out my crossbow and shoot Stain, and he dodges. He backs away and throws a knife and tries to cut me before I see Techno run by me and attack Stain. I sigh before I can feel my leg again and go for Ida and try to go and heal him before I see Dre ganging up on him, which I laugh a little, smacking Ida and then say, "What the actual fuck were you thinking?" He then says, "I needed to avenge my brother." I then hit him again and say, "Is he dead? No, he's alive. You should be congratulating him for living and trying to get him on his feet." Or should I say knees? Wait, no, that sounds bad. Fuck. He can't stand, basically. I was trying to make a joke about that, god damn it. He is dead. Is he dead? No, he's alive. You should be congratulating him for living and not trying to get him on his feet, or at least help him in everyday life, and not doing this dumb shit, you dumb bitch. I shake his shoulders, and Ida looks away in disappointment in himself, and I also look at him disappointingly. I help him up, and he says, "I'm truly sorry." I look at him and sigh, and then take out my crossbow and aim as my arm shook a bit, and try to aim it at him without missing, since it would be a pain in the ass to do. And I shoot Stain, helping Dre and Techno. I then drag Ida out of the alleyway, and I look back to see Stain on the ground, being tied up. But I leave him there while Techno interrogates him a bit, and I snicker a bit before we make it out of the alleyway. And are met with heroes, and they bombarded me with questions, but then Techno and Dre came out of the alley with Stain and ropes, seemingly passed out. But did Techno do that, or did Dre do that? Narrator POV. The heroes looked in awe as they saw two people with the hero killer, and they assumed they were heroes, so they congratulated them. And they were just confused a bit before handing it to one of the more powerful heroes, since they don't have any authority if they tried, unless they wanted to have the credit. And Dream and Technoblade just get Izuku and Ida to the hospital. And it would be problematic for two heroes without a hero license, but they would be considered vigilantes, and that would be even more work. They know they could heal him more easily with potions, but they wanted to Izuku experience healing without potions, and naturally, to get him ready to help himself if he doesn't have potions on him. He can't be dependent on potions so much, so it would mess up his body with healing naturally. Izuku spent a while at the hospital, and no one really suspected the student. The student somewhat helped, and they just thought he was just caught in the crossfire of the battle. Izuku was excused for school for 5 days, but then went back after he was moderately healed enough, and just that he can defend himself, since he wanted to see his friends again. But he didn't think he would have to do the final exam right after he got out the hospital. But he got a handicap, since it would since he only just come out of the hospital, and it would be bad if they saw a student coming out of the hospital being brutally beaten by the number one hero and just trying to do his tests. That would be bad for the school and do a number on his image, and as the number one hero and the school's image, He did it. He passed, but went to the nurse's office to recovery's girl's displeasure. And all my got a mouthful with Techno and Dream. But it was more threatening him not to touch their kid if they did, and if he did, they would kill him. Summer then started, and only a few people passed. Izuku was going to Sero, and he says, "What's upset? Why are you upset, my amor?" Sero was laying his head on his desk looking gloomy, and he says, "I failed the final exam. I don't think I'm going to my next year." Izuku pats his back sympathetically and says, You probably won't stay for the year. You passed the written one, right?" He nodded sadly with a slight smile on his face, and glad that he at least got well on the written one. "I was in class while I rated this, so I didn't check if he passed or not. Don't question me. Like, if he didn't pass, then might as well change that a bit." Aizawa then walks in and says, "Some of you passed, some of you failed. Those who failed are going to summer school to make up for the next year, and those who passed will accompany. You'll be going to summer camp, and even if the last day, y'all are coming, so be grateful." They go on the bus, and they drove a few hours, and they get to the ledge of a forest, with a forest below. Izuku had a sneaking suspicion there was something going on, so he was eyeing his trident and his axe in his inventory as they introduced the Wild Wild Pussycats, and he knew something was going to happen, and they explained why they were there and how the camp was very long away from here, and someone asked who was going to get them there, which was their first mistake, and they said, "You." With a very confident smile, and everyone says, "Huh?" out loud before dropping to the opening of the forest below. And Izuku was looking down before, and he was quick enough to water clutch it. Then the sand monsters formed and started to attack. Izuku quickly took it down, and Kaminari electrocuted another monster. They seemed to be handling themselves all right. So Izuku carefully slipped away, then he realized he forgot Sero, so he ran back and swooped him on his left, and then started to travel using the trident and the water bucket. While in the air, he noticed the look in Sarah's eyes. He was full with excitement and beaming, which put a smile on his face. So he went even faster, as did Sarah, screamed in excitement and laughter. It was sort of like a roller coaster. When they got to the camp, the teachers hadn't gotten there yet, so they decided to look around. Well, at least Izuku did. Sarah wanted to start cooking and make the time go faster. Izuku walked around when he found a boy with black hair and a red cap with horns. The boy then says, "Who are you?" Izuku then stares at the kid, and he thought he was thinking they were, Okay. That doesn't make sense, but we're gonna fix it. Ideas just started pinging in his head, such as kick the child, punt the child, orphan, is his parents anywhere? Does he even have parents? He finally says, "Where is your guardian, kid? This is an area for hero training. I can get you to them if you're lost." Kota then stares at Izuku and then at his mask and says, "Are you a hero in training?" Izuku then says, "Yeah, why?" Kota then strikes for Izuku's crotch. Well, he swiftly dodges, and he could just feel the pain that could have been there if he hadn't moved in time. And paid respects for the other men who have encountered this little shit. Izuku then yells, "That was a low blow." Kota was surprised and tripped and fell on the ground, scraping his knee. He was tearing up, and Izuku couldn't help but feel at least a little bit sorry for this little fucker. But he picks him up and holds him like a baby facing his back, and Kota begrudgingly held on since he didn't want to be dropped to the ground. But he did have to admit Izuku was cool and looked cool. Izuku then sat him down as he disinfected the wound, causing Kota to tear up a little bit more, making one singular stream of tears roll down, but he quickly wiped them away, so Izuku didn't see them. But he saw them. He didn't comment on it. Izuku then took out a regen potion and poured it on the wound, and Kota actually didn't mind since it didn't sting, and thought it was just a better kind of medicine. Kota's wound slowly healing, but stopped when it was decently healed, and Izuku put a bandage around it, so it would make sure nothing else infected it. And he stood and said, "There you go, now let me introduce myself. Little ankle biter, I'm Izuku. Now, who are you?" Kota was a bit irritated by the nickname, but he knew if Izuku meant it would be meant it in a mean way. He wouldn't have healed him, or tried to get to know him. So he says, "Kota Izumi." Izuku perked up at the name Izumi and says, "We have similar names. That's cool. Well, nice to meet you, kid. Even if you didn't feel the same, I'm gonna go help my boyfriend, so yeah." Izuku then turned around and walked in the direction of Sero and sees Sero cooking more than two meals for two, and says, "What are you doing, Amor?" Sero then says, "I was making food for the rest of the class, so when they get back, they can eat." Izuku smiles and says, "Well, let me help you." Sero thanks Izuku, and they help each other out with the cooking, and playing around and joking around, just having a grand old time while cooking for the rest. And that is the it. Sorry if this is short. My computer didn't die, but yeah. So, I hope you have a good day, wherever the hell you are, and good time zone, and bye-bye.